Please be advised, viewer discretion is strongly recommended. None of the content presented here has been exaggerated or taken out of context. What you're about to hear includes the exact statements made by the prosecution team, the defense team, and Homeland Security agent Joseph Cerciello, who served as the last witness to testify against Sean "Diddy" Combs in this federal trial. This video covers the full conclusion of Agent Cerciello's direct testimony and his cross-examination by the defense, including heated exchanges over key exhibits and evidence that could play a crucial role in how the jury interprets the case. Some language has been censored to comply with YouTube's guidelines. This is a voiced-over reading of real testimony and dialogue based on live reporting from courtroom journalist Inner City Press on X.com. All parties are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Listen at your own discretion.
The government calls Joseph Cerciello of Homeland Security Investigations 18 years. How many records have you reviewed for the charts in this trial?
Thousands.
What is the only female name in this chart?
Jane.
What's the name of hotel?
One Hotel, South Beach, Phil Pines, 5/22nd to 23rd 21st, $3,050.90 for one night.
And this flight?
Jane, by JetBlue from New York to Miami.
Does the metadata match up?
Yes.
What's the name?
Jessica Ruiz, Mr. Combs' travel agent.
What were the charges for losses and damages?
$6,000.
Who flew on this one?
Jane and Cabral. Jane from LA to Miami to LA.
And Cabral?
Atlanta.
While the prosecution and Cerciello went back and forth over exhibits not shown to the public, the prosecution quietly released one message from Jane that had previously been withheld. And this is it.
What is this?
Hotel damage report at London Hotel, room 229. The report says, bodily fluids spread on the floor. Pictures attached as evidence.
Names column.
Jane, Combs, Reggie, Paul, and Cabral.
And these between Paul Arthur and Combs, then Jane.
Arthur Fitness LLC, an ATM cash deposit of $900, then $600.
And this?
More hotel damages.
Fahim's cell phone was seized?
Yes.
Here's another Jane message the prosecutors belatedly made available today. Here's another Jane message the prosecutors belatedly made available today, citing Gina and Young Miami.
Did Jonathan Perez send this to Fahim?
Yes.
And this is about Antoine. Is it sorted by date? Please sort it, Ms. Becker.
Here's another message they made available from Sean Combs.
Who sends this message?
KK.
What does Jonathan write to Fahim?
He says, I don't know if you're holding $10,000. Fa said, trying to get some more now.
And this? June 20th, 2024, 1 year ago today.
Agent Joseph Cerciello takes the stand and continues his testimony from yesterday.
This flight?
To and from Las Vegas to Van Nuys, Paul Arthur on the flight.
And these messages?
Puff, Christina Coram, and someone named Annika.
Let's listen to Mr. Combs' 5 audio messages. Please put on the headphones.
At this point, the public couldn't hear the recording.
What's this? GX1406, page 1. Were there explicit videos cited in this chart? What do they show?
Explicit videos?
Is there one woman in them?
Jane. Also, I recognize Cabral and Sean Combs.
And other men?
Yes.
Other men?
Yes.
Let's play some videos, with attorneys' screens off. Can we go to the 5-minute mark? Looking at row 16, does it also have an explicit video?
Yes.
Play it and then take it down. Okay, let's now go to a chart, 1408. Who are the names?
Jane, Jonathan Perez, Trump International Hotel.
What is the address listed?
1 Central Park West, Manhattan.
For 7Y-120, what is the room number? Whose name is on the American Express bill?
Sean Combs.
What was the cost for this stay?
$2,890.
Who paid for Jane's travel?
Bad Boy.
And who paid for Cabral's travel?
Jane.
And what is this?
A wire from Sean Combs to Jane for $5,000.
Does Robin Greenhill write, please send $5,000 to Jane's true name?
Yes.
And who is being paid for here?
Brendan Paul, Cabral Williams, and Jane. With the American Express, Jessica Ruiz, OPCO, LLC.
Agent, do you recognize this? Oh, it has Jane's information in it. We need to keep the public screens off. Please walk us through the columns of this chart.
It has to and from and the content, the source of the information.
What's this?
Jane to Sean Combs asking, should we have Jess look into flights?
Let's look at the exhibit. Public screen is off. Is this from Mr. Combs to Jane?
He asks, "Tell me when you can come." She says, "Night."
Then what?
Jane writes, "I'm not coming to New York. I feel disrespected. You just want me for a hotel binge." Then she writes, "I don't want to be used and locked in a room to fulfill your fantasies." Sean Combs says, "That was podcast talk."
Then what?
Jane writes, "I don't want to feel obligated to perform these nights for you for fear of losing the roof over my head."
How does Mr. Combs respond?
He writes, "Girl, stop." Then some audio messages are sent.
What does Jane send to Combs?
A photo? Then Jane asks, "I didn't have time to bring the heels, if someone can get them."
What does Combs text Jane here?
He asks, "Movie or entertainment tonight? Let me know if hotel is needed."
How are the participants here?
Fahim and Brendan Paul, about after the show, Jane is in town, room at Trump, man down.
At this point, they decide to take a break, and then they continue.
What does Fahim text to Jonathan?
We on the way up in the elevator with Jane.
What is this?
A Trump International hotel record.
What does Frank Rodriguez text to Fahim?
Bring Gucci bag?
What does Jane text to Cabral Williams?
Would you like to come to NYC?
What does Fahim text to Jane?
We'll come with the cash. Then Jane, to Cabral Williams, just need your DOB and driver's license number.
Then Jane send a message to Cabral. How much time before he says, "Can come up in a sec"?
About 10 hours.
Let's go to page 71, line 770.
Text to Brendan Paul about sending out a nurse and bag.
What does Brendan Paul text?
All IVs would be the same.
You read Mr. Combs, I'll read Ms. Coram.
Defense lawyer reads as quorum.
You can't just leave like that lit after partying and not tell anyone. That is when bad shit happens. You know that.
Agent Cerciello reads as Combs.
Did you get the drip?
Chelsea will move to the house once Jane leaves. Options were here, were Mandarin and another, king room for now.
I need to get her a suite. Keep her at the addition.
What's this?
Financial record notes. Jane to Cabral Williams, Slide Diddler.
Play Combs' voice message to Paul Arthur.
Hit me up when you close.
What does Jane text to Cabral?
So horny to see you.
Then what does Jane text?
Travel agent finally woke up. You're coming.
What's this number?
Jessica Ruiz.
Play Combs' message to Coram.
Hey, KK, we need more baby oil. 20 bottles in this motherfucker.
Play Mr. Combs' voice messages.
Hey, Jess, I need to get in from Atlanta to here. Let me know. Hit me up.
Does Cabral Williams send his date of birthday and Jane sent it to Combs, then Combs to Ruiz?
Yes. Then Ruiz books it.
What does KK text to Combs?
I ordered the fruit plates. I'll have to bring your phone to you.
Play the message from Combs to KK.
I have to run out of town real quick, like family emergency. Know what I'm saying?
What does Coram say?
She says, "Suggest you say something came up and not lie about leaving town. I think she'll want to hear from you directly. You could suggest dinner tomorrow."
What's this?
Judo to Sean Combs.
Play Combs' message.
I need 5 more bottles of each so I don't have to ask nobody. And my Apple TV since I'm staying here.
He has to ask from lattes and vegetable soup.
Can security bring me 5,000? And anything else y'all think I might need? And Chalice, I'm going to keep calling y'all unless you think of everything I'm going to need.
What is texted to Fahim?
Taking 5,000 to him now.
What does Jessica Ruiz text to Sean Combs?
Had to change drivers. Then Jane texted to Cabral Williams.
What are the next 4 videos?
Explicit videos. About 45 minutes later. Then JP Morgan to Arthur Fitness. $1,000.
What is Jane sent to Mr. Combs?
I'm heading there. We'll let you know when I'm 5 minutes away. Paul coming up.
Line 337. Walk us through.
The London Hotel in LA, room 229, in the name of Chavez, with damage.
Line 340.
Check-in record for the London Hotel.
Play the voice message.
Should I book the room? It's a yes or no answer. Thumbs up or thumbs down.
What does Jane respond?
I need to shop to celebrate.
Line 350. Who texts Jane?
Coram asking for Jane's account information. She says Bank of America and an account number. She writes, "Want to send one of the guys here to drop everything off?"
And Combs says,
"No, I don't want them to know."
play Combs' audio message to Jane.
I sent you 15K, baby girl.
What does Combs text to Paul Arthur?
You in LA? He says yes. Then Emma hits you later.
Play Combs' voice message.
You want to meet up 9:45? Can you get 5,000 for Fahim?
What does Combs text to Jane?
Paul gonna meet us at 9:30.
Play Combs to Frank Rodriguez.
Frank, make sure that room is set up right.
What does Rodriguez write?
Medical grade K, MDMA.
What does Jane text to Cabral?
To call Rodriguez.
What does Rodriguez text to Combs?
A photo and message. This is all they got left of the blues.
I'll read Jane, you read Combs, as Jane.
It's been 3 years of me having to fuck strangers. I can't be in another hotel room performing for days.
Let me make love to you.
Spend the day with Gina. I'm not trying to fuck strangers. You want to have me suck some dick so you can jet off with Gina.
Are you going to let me in our house?
5 times.
I just put my child to bed.
Who texts Combs the next day?
Gina.
Then what does Combs text to Jane?
He texts, I'm horny as fuck with numerous C's.
And who is Combs texting with?
A man named Rico Love.
What does Jane text Combs?
Baby, I'm here.
What does Combs text to Rico?
L'Hermitage, let me know when you're there.
Yo, what's the name and room number?
What does Combs text to Rico?
Room is Paul.
I'll read Jane, you read Mr. Combs, as Jane.
Make sure not to make me feel high and dry. Put something in my account.
Hey, how are you?
Was that 3 days later?
Yes, then record 3000 JP Morgan.
Who texts Jonathan Perez?
Quorum says, heads up PD going to guest house?
Turn off the public screen. What do they say the fight is about?
Her being jealous and yelling at him?
What's this?
Jane and Anton.
On June 20th, who does Jane call?
Jamel Douglas, aka Anton.
What was sent to Fahim?
Banking coordinator will pick up the cash, $5,000 for you, $15,000 for PD.
What injuries are on Jane Dash?
At that point, the defense objected, but it was sustained.
Was this video found on Jane's iCloud?
Yes.
No further questions.
Now they begin the cross-examination on Agent Cerciello.
Agent Cerciello, this exhibit shows expenses paid for Sean Combs. This is an account from QuickBooks. In an abundance of caution, let's turn off the public screen. Let's look 7 lines down: JetBlue, LA, agency fee, other, AR receipt, Sean Combs. Do you see that?
Yes.
Let's look at line 9. JFK to LAX, account of Jessica Ruiz CD Opco LLC, right?
Right?
When you did the chart, you saw only the American Express records?
I saw what was presented to me.
This is another chart that you reviewed. Let's go to page 15, row 39. You listed the lawsuit Ventura vs. Combs and Combs' IG video. Do you see this month-to-month lease in Jane's true name? Have you ever seen this exhibit?
I have not.
Turn the public screens back on. Here we saw Combs saying, "Damn wish you were here," right?
Yes.
Here Jane writes, "I'm horny for you," and "put in deep in me." These next 2 pages are not in your chart, are they?
No, I don't think so.
She writes, "Having wine miss you." That's not included?
It is not.
She write, "I have some here, but mostly black dominatrix style, right?"
Yes.
I'm going to bring up DX3328 under seal, page 17. Messages between Jane and Cabral. Jane writes, "I might have some time off." Jane writes, "Hey, cutie, how are you?" And he writes, "Just back from cooking for a brunch. I'm one of a kind baby." She writes back, "LOL, these pics. Okay, if I fly you out, I'm so horny, I need you. I'm telling myself Aaron, right?"
Yes.
The messages you reviewed omitted emojis, right?
I'm not sure.
Jane writes, "See you soon" with kiss face emoji, then heart eye emojis. He, Cabral Sly, writes, "Me too," also with emojis, right?
Yes.
Now turn off the attorney's screens too. Do you see the metadata?
Yes.
Test the headphones to make sure they work. Here's piano music. Now play the video. Keep the public screen off. Pull up DX3328. Jane messages Cabral. What does he respond?
He texts, I'm just chilling in Houston waiting for my flight.
Jane writes, "Want to come to Miami? I have a small free window emoji." Jane writes, "Oh, Sly, thank you for making me feel so beautiful."
He writes, you called me by my government name. I said, whoa, things getting personal now.
Jane writes, "I'm traveling. Maybe you can come too. PCR test needed." Jane writes, "Wait, you have a passport, right? Oh, then don't worry about the PCR test. Your Honor, this is a good place to stop. It's 3 p.m.
And that was it for today's testimonies in the Diddy trial. Today, Agent Cerciello is back on the stand to finish his cross-examination.
Good morning. Pull up 1406 from December 21st, 2021. Jane, Combs, Dawn, and Cabral. Turn off attorney's screens. We are going to watch some videos. Play from the beginning until 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
The public screens were turned off for this, so we didn't get to see the videos.
After watching the videos, they begin with questioning the witness.
So, what does she say here?
She writes, "That was so fucking sexy."
Then she writes, "I'm thinking about it," heart eyes emoji. Now Paul is in the chat, but your chart doesn't list Cabral's message with Jane. See 3,328. Now, it's December 21st, 2021. She reaches out to Cabral to say, "Happy New Year," writes, "LMK, if you want to come tonight." What does Cabral say?
He says, "I'm cooking for my family, but tomorrow for sure."
Not in your chart?
No, it's not.
Under Italian, let's see DX3050. This is April 4th of 2022, Combs with Jane. You read Mr. Combs.
Combs writes,
I have been having crazy fantasies about Leo. You and Leo.
he writes,
Adderall is the greatest LOL.
She writes to him with drool face emoji, then in 1406, next is July 2022. You only reviewed what the government gave you, right?
right.
Combs tells Paul to come over.
Yes.
Here Jane says,
My place is free tonight.
then she writes,
I got on my knees and thanked God for the health of my child and for your friendship.
then heart emojis, right?
Right.
I'll correct you, it's Van Nuys. GX103, it's between Jane and Paul.
I don't memorize the exhibit numbers.
So, let's show it. This is a message between Mr. Paul Arthur and Mr. Combs, who says, staff is leaving. This is the first mention of Anton, right? October 8th, 2022.
Yes, he shows up.
And these photos? E285. Do you see the bracelet she is wearing?
I do.
Jane writes, can you come to Turks? What does he say?
He says, "Yes, love, I have a passport but not vaccination."
She said, can you get an ATL? A few days later, March 21st, 2023, she asks about Miami. Jane writes,
Tonight was fun.
what does he say?
He says,
Had a great time with you, baby.
Now, April 2023, Jane, Combs, and Paul. He says, hey, Jane's true name, I am available. And she asks about the 19th.
"Yes."
Jane says, I'll reach out. How about P, Ital is available? What does Combs respond?
Combs says, "Okay, you find location? You in the mood?"
Jane says,
Didn't know you were unsatisfied. I stopped and got a couple more outfits.
Jane writes,
I know what you like, Daddy. At the London before you left for NYC, you did a film. You forgot it. You promised you wouldn't forget it.
then smirky face, devil face,
I'm coming, Daddy. That video you sent me was hot.
sweat emoji. Let's go back to GX1406, May 19th to 20th, 2023. Jane, Combs, Paul, and Cabral. What does Mr. Combs write?
He writes, "Is Chef still here?" She says, "No, LOL."
Pull up texts of the personal assistants.
I don't know who.
Ms. Coram writes, for hotel they want fruit, outfits, shorts for him, size large, fruits and juices. She writes, are you hydrated? I'll be at one hotel, residential side. Hey hun, had a great time. Do you see that?
Yes.
Here Jane writes to Mr. Combs, I love you, can't wait to see you, with heart emojis. But now she writes, let's be positive. Remember how we turned it around at 1 star, right?
Right.
He says, you got chef? Jane says, no.
Jane says, "You know I was trying for my chefy poo."
Jane writes, are you up to coming to LA? How much would it be to compensate for missing chef gig?
He responds, "Sorry, love, I could have did it with enough heads up."
Mr. Combs writes, hurry up. She is at hotel, and she is horny as hell. Need help. LOL. Paul responds, LOL, right?
Right.
And Mr. Combs send Paul an image. Does it look like Shaq?
Yes.
At this point, they decided to take a break, and then they continued.
Back to 1406, Mr. Combs writes to Paul. Security knows to let you in the back, right? Combs says, just say P, not Paul. Jane writes, just to tell you I love you, listening to your music and making love with you, partay rosé, whatever we were saying. Back to 1406, August 12th, 2023. He writes, movie night was off the chain. She says, so we try something new tonight? He says, call Italian. She says, one hotel roof, good for drinks and light bites. Smiley face, kiss face, right?
Right. He says, "Baby, I'm stressed out.
She says, I'm back to mommy mode. September 19th, 2023. That correspondence to many chats we looked at yesterday. Pull up 1407, not one by one. Go to page 48. I just want to highlight a few that I didn't think were in the chart. Combs writes, headed to ATL. Combs writes, I can't even look. It will drive me crazy. Jane writes, muy caliente with a sweating face. That shit was different, all of it. That was September 24th, 2023.
Yes. This message says, we had a great D-A-W.
Jane writes, Daddy want to see mommy be bad tonight, right? Slide that D in me at the restaurant, no water. Emojis. Yes?
Right.
She writes, I'm going to blow your mind tonight. Can't wait to lick your
Right.
Jane send more emojis drool. She writes, it's sexy here in the hotel. Yeah, we need to run to the freak store. Let's skip ahead to 55. She writes, I didn't have time to do my nails. And he says,
He writes, I love it.
let's just quickly look at, this is just Jane and Combs?
Correct.
September 30th, Jane writes, I love you, baby. Have a great show. This, I won't repeat here, there, no location entries until February 8th, 2024. Christina Coram asks Jonathan Perez, how does he look? You could put him in front of someone, but he just took a full bar, so I think he'll be asleep soon. Now, can we turn off the public screen? Here you have flight records for Jane going from LA to Miami 5 days before Combs posts Instagram video, right?
Right.
Now, a phone call from Anton to Jane, 0 seconds. What does that mean?
The clock starts at ringing.
We don't have the public screens on, so play this video.
The audio sounded like this.
Beautiful day like this, a bass playing.
That was June 2024, right?
Right.
Let's play more video. We'll hear the music. Now play the entire video. Now, in this one, let's jump ahead to minute 7 and 8. Now, minute 19. Almost done. Please stop it here. Do you see the message from Jane? I have the best memories. I have just a few to asking about 1409, but bring up 1408. Do you see account transfer of $22,000?
Yes.
In 1409, it was Jane Fuentes Transportation. Do you see that it has $151.99 for Jane's true name and also Cabral Williams? It's hard for me to see the lines. Can you move the cursor up? $324.50 and $760.25.
Meanwhile, Sean Combs passes a note to Nicole Westmoreland, seated at his right, who then whispers in Agnafilo, Diddy's lawyer's ear.
Let's go to page 96, Sean Combs' personal bank account records, total due $74,000. There's an account transfer to the LCC.
Yes.
Your Honor, can I have a moment? One more video, and then we're done. The one that wasn't working this morning. Turn off the attorney screens. You reviewed the metadata dash.
Which chart?
That's a great question. Play it. Thank you, Agent. Please go back to keeping New York City safe.
At this point, the judge asks the prosecution if they want to redirect this witness, and they say,
briefly, did we just see Sean Combs paying for the travel of Cabral Williams from Atlanta to Florida, across state lines?
At this point, the defense raises an objection.
Do the charts represent every text message in this case?
Number.
Let's pull up message before this date.
At that point, the defense objected, saying the prosecutor's question went beyond what was allowed. The prosecutor fired back, claiming the defense did the same earlier. So the judge called for a sidebar to sort it out privately. And then they continued.
In this time frame, did you see any messages between Jane and Mr. Combs that were sexual or affectionate in nature?
Number.
No further questions.
The judge asked if the prosecution was ready to rest their case. The AUSA responded vaguely, saying, subject to, likely meaning they had a few loose ends. The judge then told the jurors to take a break, and they left the courtroom. And then the prosecutor explains to the judge,
we have essentially rested. We only may want to move for a few corrections.
The judge turned to the defense and asked, Mr. Agnafilo, are you ready to move?
And after that, the defense began filing their Rule 29 motion, arguing that the case should be dismissed due to lack of evidence. You can watch the full breakdown of that motion in our previous video. Now, here's what's coming next. Tomorrow, the jury returns for closing arguments. First, the prosecution will present, followed by the defense, and then the government may give a final rebuttal. After that, the judge will deliver the jury instructions explaining the law and how the juror should apply it. Then, the jury will begin deliberating behind closed doors to decide whether Sean Diddy Combs is guilty or not. The verdict could come as early as this weekend, or it might take longer, depending on how complex the deliberations become. What do you think the jury will decide? Let us know your predictions in the comments below. And if you want full coverage of the closing arguments, jury deliberations, and the final verdict, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next update.